welcome back to Bug Realms. On this channel we like to discuss all things creepy crawly, so if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel. Now today is going to be simply a readjustment of the home of our Tapinauchenius polybotes, or polybotes, however you would like to say it. This is a highly underrated genus in my opinion. I think they're absolutely lovely. It's probably because they don't get particularly big for an arboreal species, but I really love them. Now, I'm going to be showing you this enclosure in detail soon. It's got some awesome web tunnels in here. But in the bottom, there are actually two molts that I've never been able to get out because it webbed this enclosure so well that I would just be destroying its home getting those molts out. So instead of just getting the molts out, which would be a little bit boring, what I've decided to do is take the spider out of here. We'll have a good look at it. And we'll basically readjust this home back to how it was before all the webbing was in place and have a look at the molts too. Now, I don't really like disturbing the homes they've made for themselves, but there is a little mould speck in the bottom that I'd like to clear out, and I would like to be able to just see the spider again, just for that little while before it re-webs its home. So without further ado, let's have a look at its setup now, get the spider out and redesign. So I've placed my light on the top so that we can see this a bit better. I've got some noisy stick insects over here. Keep it down. But yes, let's have a little look currently. So you can see the web tunnels. There's the spider itself just sat in here. You can see some legs poking out through. Now if I turn this round, all of this marvellous webbing, bits of legs from an old molt up there, and down here are the molts. So this is the most recent molt over a week ago. I really want to get this one out, and there's also a dinky one in the corner. I should be able to, if the abdomen's okay, sex this molt too. But look at this. It is a series of web tunnels all the way through, and it is striking, but we can never really see the tarantula. So let's get this one out, have a look at him or her, check the molt, and sort out this home. So what I've done is I've placed this inside a storage box so that we can entice the spider out, and I can then cup it in the box if need be, and I have the lid as a safety measure, more so for the tarantula than me, because I don't want it escaping in my room and not being able to find it. These little dial things are a pain, but Tarantula Room have upgraded their enclosures since for magnets. I have to lift this out to see. As I said, they've redesigned their enclosures to magnetic lids now. Look at that, look. You can see that tunnel system really, really well. So I think the best method for this is for me to just time lapse the entire thing until the spider is out of the enclosure. So here is the molt that we're hoping to be checking. Here's the molt previous. Look at the size difference between the two. It's incredible. Right, I'm just going to find out where the spider's lurking and we'll carry on. So we're just going to leave him or her just in this bit of bark here with the lid on while we sort out this mess. Back in 2 ticks. And here is the result I have come up with. Now let's have a little bit of a better view. I'll explain why I've done this design, and then we'll take a look at our Tapinauchenius polybotes. So moving from the top around, you can see I've stuck to a darker wood theme, and I thought that would be cooler with something that makes a lot of white webbing. And what I've actually done is I've placed a piece of bark here, a stick here, and a twizzly stick here, and I've left a lot of open space at the front, as you can see if I turn it here. You see, lots of gap, and I'm hoping that it will stick its webbing mostly in this corner where it's darker to hide, or if we spin it round, perhaps around this bit of twisty stick, or this corner here with the additional bark. You see how there's lots of little layers at the back. That way it leaves a lot more space for me to be able to actually look into the enclosure rather than it being fully fogged, and I think it has a chance for some awesome tunnel systems there too. I'm just going to add the water dish down in one corner, like so. It doesn't need to be raised. With this one it doesn't matter. If it keeps webbing like it did before, that doesn't even make it easier on me as a keeper having it up here, because I can't access any of it. I've been dripping water purely on the webbing, but we'll keep a water dish just in case. Now the bit you've all been waiting for, let's try and get this spider out and have a good look. Okay, let's take the lid off, see whereabouts he or she is. I can see a leg just here. I'm sorry the lighting angle isn't great for you guys. Let's try and get this one out. I love legs creeping over wood shots. I know it's still shadowy, but I can't actually manoeuvre my light to the other side. But look at the beautiful colours. Look at that. Why are these so underrated? That is a stunning tarantula. Now, I'm going to try and adjust the movement, but I need to put the camera back on the stand a second. There. Gotcha. There. Look at that. A lot of tappies, as I like to call them, have this similar leg style, but they do come in a range of colours. Most of them are similar to this. They've got those blues, beiges, purples, slightly greens, and they're almost, to me, as pretty as a carabiner, just in smaller form. The carabiner versicolor, I mean. Might not have as many colours or as bold or as striking, but they're certainly there. Oh, gotcha. Made me jump for a second. You scared me. I didn't actually get that in the shot, but all I did was lift this cup because she was higher up, or he, and place it on this lid. So now we get one final chance to have a proper look while it's out of the enclosure. So unfortunately this cup doesn't give us much justice, but you can see just from me spinning the cup there the little bolts of speed these spiders have. There we are. Look at that. Now I remember getting this one as a dinky sling, so this is another one that we've raised from a tiny sling. And now the aim is to get her into her enclosure. I keep saying her, that's just how I refer to them when they're unsexed. So what we're going to do is simply lift, place in like so, and try and aid the tarantula in coming downwards. But as arboreals, they like to go up, so hopefully she doesn't bolt back up over the side. Is she out? Yep, and we can get one final look before I pop the lid on. There. Look at that. Look at the contrast to the greenish carapace, the bluish to blackish legs, with those hairs of, I don't know, beigey burgundy sort of colour going along them. What a contrast, but what a beautiful spider. Here's a view through the acrylic there, so you can make her out in all her glory from a front view. Oh, I could stare at her all day. Truly amazing. And for size comparison, here's my hand. Now she won't get that much bigger than this, if I'm honest with you, as far as I'm aware. She's probably already sub-adult, maybe one more away. And she's just going to go into the shadows. So I think we've disturbed her enough. Let's pop the lid on like so. Now what I'm going to do, because I've filmed this a little bit in advance, is we're going to come back to this enclosure in maybe 3 or 4 days time and see what sort of webbing she might have done in here. That'll give me just enough time to make this video go live. So before I show you the enclosure, I forgot to add, because I've got a brain like a sieve, the difference in the size of the two molts. That was the dinky one in the corner, and this one here was the next molt. Quite a size difference, eh? So I'm actually going to be checking this molt if I'm able. Sorry about my phone noise. And then I'll show you what she's done with her enclosure. So after checking that molt, it is confirmed male. I am frustrated. I'm really frustrated. I know we had some good news with the Sturmy in the previous video, the update video, where it was female. But I've got to let you guys know that obviously I've bought some tarantulas as sexed female, and they have been sexed female. I've been given gifts such as the GBB by Sidex, which is a female, and that's grand. But that Sturmy is quite literally the only unsexed tarantula that I have raised to be female. The only one. Everything that I've bought as unsexed, whether it was a tiny sling or a juvenile, have turned out to be male. It's disheartening as a keeper. For those of you who don't understand, the males, they don't have much purpose other than to breed. They don't live long after maturity. And you know, talking of maturity, I didn't actually have a proper gander at that polybotes. I don't think it had hooks, and I'm pretty sure Tapinauchenius do get hooks. I have 2 females, but they were bought as sexed females. My Pseudoclamoris had hooks, which used to be in the Tappy genus, so I'm pretty sure Tappies do have hooks. I'll have to look over this footage and double check that. But if not, I'd say it's a sub-adult male because they won't put on that much more size. My lighting is dying here. I do apologise for that. I just realised I've been talking to you as a shadow. I do apologise. Anyway, rambling over, I just needed to get it off my chest. And I'm sick and tired of this happening all the time. So let's see what he has done with his enclosure. So like magic, I actually have some placemats appear, and they're a little bit out of place. There's a catch cup on the side, there's sling pots. Why is this here? Well, I've actually just done a surprise unboxing, which will be your next video for you, so stay tuned if you want to see what that was all about. But here is the enclosure of the tea polybotes. Now you can see there has been some webbing. It has tipped its water bowl up, typical tarantula behaviour. But here is most of the webbing, just on the inside here. Now the tarantula resides about halfway through the enclosure, down in here. Let me get the light at a better angle for you. So there we have it. You can see this sort of web system better now. So it's gone all the way across, some along the front, but mostly at the back, which is pretty much how we predicted it to be. So as you can see here, some strands come all the way to the actual water dish. So it is coming a bit more forward than I expected. And what's cool is you can see the little tunnel system that it's created with web and substrate. Now, it's down there somewhere, but you've already had a nice good look at this tarantula, so we're not going to try and fish it out. It's still settling quite well and hasn't took a feed yet. So I'm not going to attempt that today because it's still cowering away a bit. It's still building its kingdom, as it were. But yes, that is our overall look at the tea polybotes enclosure. So if you want to see what else dwells in the realm, make sure to pop back weekly for multiple videos. That's going to be it for today's video. Stay tuned to find out what was in those vials. So I'll see you again on Sunday. Take care everyone. Bye bye.